Good morning, people. Good morning, planet Earth. Yes, we all need a good morning. Good morning. This is Spirit Journey. Today is Wednesday, March 16, 2022, and the time right now is 5:11 a.m. And you're looking at the Manhattan skyline. It's been a couple of days since I've uploaded a movie, a live stream. I hope you all are doing well. I want to talk about a variety of topics today, and it's interesting that they all seem to come together um, yesterday. Yeah, I want to discuss about. I'm going to talk about this. It was a talk. This person on YouTube that I watch. It focuses on black women traveling uh, for renewal, for just a peace of mind, etc. It's a well developed platform. And I just so happened to be watching it yesterday. And I think it covers a lot of things about human nature, human pain, as I wrote in the title, human pain and society. And I'm going to tie this in with just what's going on. This movie that I saw that was on YouTube. It came out in 2017 called Rememory. Very deep. And here I saw them both yesterday, Tuesday, March 15, 2022. And it left me feeling the same way. I saw the talk first yesterday, this social media host. Again, I usually don't like giving names of certain programs and things like that. But that is about focuses on black women traveling for whether it be a sabbatical or just a new life. And this person that was on the program also watches the program, and they are taking, they moved. She shared some very deep experiences, and she does what's called coaching to coach other black women for to be able to, when they're ready to make the decision on cutting ties. And I think cutting ties could be a number of things, scenarios. But she specifically was on a specific relational context. Very close family members. And the movie Rememory was of people. It was like some type of, I guess he was a psychologist, psychiatrist, or something. And he had patients. And they had memory issues, traumas. And some of them wanted to remember certain traumas, and in the process of he developed a machine that could tap onto your mind. You wear this device on your head, and turn on the machine, and he could record your memories and then play it back for you. It was really neat, and then there was a lot of twists and turns in the movie, and this scientist dies, and so the movie focused on finding out what happened to him, and he's involved with a lot of different people. But in the end, you discover. But the movie, it wasn't so much like a murder mystery, because you find out what really happened and he wasn't murdered, but about how pain affects different individuals. And that what was interesting that when you tap into memory, so your body and mind is a receptor. Just like when you turn on a radio or TV or computer, sometimes it glitches and it doesn't play back the video with clarity. Sometimes there's skips and bumps and you're right. And that skipping and interference, whatever, can in fact influence how you feel and just the key word distort what really happened. It can distort what really happened. That is the key. I thought that was a key word there. And the process of tapping into certain memories can have residuals because it's imperfect and your body is imperfect. You can have residual memories, like you remember it, and then you have things it popping up in your memory at inappropriate times, and it could frighten you, whatever. Um, so that's what was happening with the machine. The guy um, who developed the machine, his purpose behind the machine was uh, not to exploit at all, nothing like that. He was a true scientist, and I think some of the information, if I remember right, he wasn't told certain information. He has people working under him and following up on the patients, how the patients are doing, you know, um, but there were glitches, and you had, I guess, maybe they were investors who wanted the device to come on the market. But my real issue here, real means of discussion here, is that about people and how people can go through certain traumas and how they relive it over and over again. Some people they can't they want to forget. They want to forget. And it colors everything in their lives. And that's what was happening to this guest on this uh, like a talk show that comes on YouTube, and she was faced with sometimes individuals that are closest to us, for whatever what their demons are, um, take it out even on little children. And then I think about what's happened in the world today. They have we have access to so many programs on YouTube and all other social medias. And they want you to, they share certain informations, and it's like it affects you. And so this woman, um, I think the program was on for maybe an hour and a half or something. It was a good length. And even people, it was done live, live stream. And people in the chat room, she didn't speak loud, and grimacing, but you could feel the energy behind the events. And even though what she mentioned, what, it wasn't like something like being tortured and things. It wasn't anything like that. But yet, the emotional impact that it had, it was so low energy. And the program, uh, I don't think this ever happened before in her program. The program, the woman, the host of the show, interviews, oftentimes she interviews people, other black women who've traveled to different places and their experiences, how they went about doing it, how the particulars about their relocating. But this one had an emotional impact. And you have to some things you have to protect your heart. What happens in these relationships? Why are relationships hurting people, it seems, more and more? Isn't it that when we're children, that's one thing, and then we kind of grow out of the pain? Well, some people do not grow out of pain. So even though she has um, I, yeah, because she had quit her job, and then I think she said she got her degree. Yes, good morning, viewer. Welcome, welcome. So yes, this person, I think they got their degree. I hope they got their degree in counseling, whatever. She, it said that she what you call coaches. She is a a coach for black women who've been uh, traumatized and need to separate themselves permanently from their abuser. That's how I'll word it. But I question now. I wrote in the chat room. I mean, in the comment section. Uh, yeah, because I saw it as a playback. I didn't actually see it when it was played live. But yeah, I wish her healing and all that. Is she ready? Are certain people? I mean, the amount of energy that was being given off with what was being said. See, when someone is, my understanding, again, I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, social worker. I'm not any of those things. I'm just a lay woman who's just an observer of a program and giving my opinion. If someone is in a position, as you said, as a coach, and I notice now people on social media are calling themselves coaches, but are they qualified to really discuss what they're discussing on a basis where you're doing this for a living and getting paid for it? It was a concern because as much pain was given off in this, is she healed from it? Is she actually being re traumatized given the story, the account of what happened to her growing up and how it's affecting her as an adult? If, if, I mean, no one is, we're not like robots. I mean, an event happens. And it's going to be a little sensitive to talk about some things. But some things you more like remove from the situation emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Something people who are really conquered their demons, so to speak, they remove from the situation. They address the issue. They know what happened. They're not in denial. They've felt that pain, and they've elevated, and they moved on, and they could encourage others because they successfully moved through it. But when you're not completely healed on something, or if something is still a sensitive issue, it's like getting two people who are in a drug rehab. You better not have two drug rehab people who have not successfully overcome their demons and have them live together because they're both will pull each other down the drain. And I've seen that. Boy, have I seen that. You get someone who is to serve like a mentor, who's overcome their demons, and they could successfully take that other person under their wing and guide them on how to navigate those temptation spots. So I'm wondering how successful this other person could do that. I mean, I'm not trying to piss on somebody's parade. No way am I trying to do that. But just an observation. Because listening to the thing, it was so heavy. So that energy, because see, when we give out certain words, it's taken out. You know, we're sharing it through our filters. And if our filters is filled with pain, the people who hear it are going to hear the pain too. And I am a very sensitive person, extremely. And everyone else in that chat room or in the, uh, you know, retake of, when a live stream goes up and you're able to see it later on. Boy, it was heavy. So I was concerned about that. And I did visit the person's website. And the picture that's in it was a little haunting. I know sometimes we can have a bad moment when you're taking a photo, yes, but I felt this one went a little deeper. I mean, if this is your occupation and you're going to have a picture, a spooky picture of to to help navigate people to break those ties with your abuser. I felt it was almost like re-traumatizing. I'm being honest. Looking at it, I mean, when I heard the program, outside of the emotions I felt, I say, hey, check out her. Let me check out her website. Let me see what she's about. What information? Maybe might talk about her credentials or schooling, something. And it didn't. But they do have two books on the subject. But man, as a focal point and in the center of the website, it actually spooked me. So I don't know whether you know what I'm saying, that I think when someone has a guest on their show, and if they're going to have a website, they're going to post the link to the website, look at that website first and make sure it's kosher, so to speak. Make sure, hey, is this a legit website? Is it spooky? Is this something that could harm any of the uh, patrons of the show? I think it's very good. I think it's nice of the program to share information. Sharing information, nothing wrong, but look at it though. Make sure that it's, because someone might say, hey, you had this guest in this show and this thing did this or that to me. Yeah, it was a little sensitive. So yeah, so some people, they go through traumas and things like that. And what was interesting about the program, they would say, black women in America, what outlets do we have to separate ourselves from certain traumas? What support group that is out there? I think that's an important question to ask. We need support systems. So I do appreciate certain programs that, hey, talk about certain things, because there's nothing that's really gearing to the black population. And I've shared several times when I went to, like, I'm a veteran, and they asked, I needed to get some paperwork done. I wanted to get paperwork to get the service animal, to have my dog certified, to be, I'm sorry, not certified, to be um, considered a emotional support pet. So certain situations I'll be able to bring them with me because I don't like leaving them at home, and they are a really good support system for me emotionally. So I had to, the paperwork required that I see a psychiatrist. So in the VA hospital, you have to go through a chain of events. You first have to get like a pre-screening. And I told them right up front. And yeah, I called first and set up the appointment. Then I went there, told them again what I wanted. And they asked, and I was talking to a black woman. She was not an MD. Um, so she asked me point blank, "Oh, do you have any preferences?" So because she mentioned preferences in this, because I don't think I would have asked, just whoever who they had for me to talk to, because I just thought it would just be a 1 day thing, you know, for her to fill out the paperwork. But no, it wasn't. It was really interesting. And again, I did mention this story before. She says, what's your preference, if you have any?" I said, "Well, okay, I would like to have a female, a black American therapist." And she got offended at that. I think offended on different levels. Offended because here, um, many of the people who go to the VA hospital in New York City are black people, blacks and Hispanics, but mostly blacks. And you don't have a black American uh, psychiatrist, to be specific. You don't have any. So rather than saying that, she says, "Oh, we have so and so," and she's really, she's a person of color, and blah 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 blah. That's a new lingo now in New York City. Say, person of color is like the band aid for black people. If it's a band aid, why don't they have black American psychiatrists? Why don't they have not one? What's this? It's 19 million people in New York City, and you have 7 million black people, black American people, and you don't have one? That's problematic. And she gets angry at me, and she responds, "Well, some people don't want to identify as that, but really mean. So how is this to help people?" Again, I just wanted someone to fill out paperwork. But what if I really needed a long-term sessions with a psychiatrist? Again, psychiatrists are drug dealers for the mind. They are drug dealers of the mind. They would listen to you for just a few minutes, and you think they're listening to you because they care, they care about your feelings. That psychiatrist is not there for about your feelings. They are examining what you say, whether you're uh, psychotic, to find out what classification of mental illness you have or don't have. That's all. That is all. Their job is to so-called medicate you so you don't have those symptoms that you have, that you talk about. The social worker is more on your feelings. They're not about examining certain, again, I'm not a mental health expert in anything, but just going by my understandings of it. So I thought it was really interesting. Yeah, be careful what you ask for. Because some people, at least in New York City, get offended for you to ask. Now, I bet if I ask for an Asian therapist, an Orthodox therapist, a Hispanic therapist, or of psychiatry, I don't think I would have any problem. But why is it a problem for Black America to ask for a. When they asked, I didn't ask. She asked me if I had preference. Why aren't preferences given to Black America, especially in a big city like New York City? It's a lot of us. Because, see, they don't want us to treat each other. But they do have social workers. There are plenty of black people. But I see that in New York City, that's being, it seems like these social workers are really into, again, I want to be tactful. And again, your preferences and lifestyle choices are your choices for you. But I start to wonder why it seems like the social workers, especially not just people of color, but black people in general, why does it seem like that they're being used for the what I call the alphabet soup community? How come they are being catered to and not the uh, what I call the chicken soup community? Good old traditional chicken soup community is not being addressed. And when you go out and look in New York City and you see certain, especially the alphabet soup people, why are they seem to be out of their mind uh, by the way they dress, act. They're out of their mind. They're crazy. This is a problem. So we have to be careful on who we're reaching out to. And so, oh yeah, yes. So where does this all go with the movie that I saw? Rememory. Well, again, that movie Rememory is about what we remember, and some things are better not to remember because there are consequences. And I thought, if a machine like that existed to tap into your memories and then record the memory on these discs or whatever, these sheets, it could be painful. And residuals, and then you can't forget. And what if what you thought, I remember hearing one time when someone was trying to remember something, and this social worker had said, something, you'd be surprised, but what if you remember and someone who you think is close to you and they were behind it, just the thing that you are trying to that you can't remember. I thought that was really profound. And I think this person was right. And that's the painful aspect. Betrayal. Betrayal is awful. Is that what you're dealing with these days? Betrayal. You shared something with someone, or maybe you thought you could trust someone, and then this thing comes to possibility that the person that you admired, looked up to, uh, shared special moments, might be the key person to your suffering. This is powerful. So what I'm saying, so how I want to combine this two together. That learn to be gentle with yourself. That inner child in you Respect that inner child in you. And again, this is just I'm not a therapist, psychiatrist, or anything like that, just a layperson. But to be gentle with yourself. And you say, certain things might happen in your life. But you have yourself. Try to be discerning and hug yourself. And I've said many times in my live streams to love the person you see in the mirror, even when people around you try to convince you otherwise. You carry you no matter where you go. And even breaking ties with people, former friends or family members, you have you and you bring you wherever where you go in life. And learn to love yourself. Stop the pain, but stop hating yourself. We've all messed up in life at times. We're all a work in progress. We all are. But hug yourself. You say, this may have happened, but don't betray yourself. You're going to have betrayals. You're going to have people, deceivers, liars, all types of people that could come your way. Read the signs. And I think that is a beginning of the healing process. Yes, sometimes you have to physically remove yourself from a situation. You better at times. If something is crushing you, it doesn't matter whether they're blood or not. And some people may think, if they're blood, even an extremely close relationship. And you know what extremely close relationships could be. Someone from your own household. And society taught you that certain relationships are sacred. And you become that sacred, the other person is your sacred cow. Well, some sacred cows are fake. And some sacred cows are presenting themselves as sacred, but they're not holy. And they're not good for you. And that slowly they can kill you. They can kill your soul. And it's like a paradigm shift. And we have to come to the maturity that sacred cow in your life is actually your real enemy. But it's being used as something else, as a trick, to keep you in their pocket. And it's a manipulation game, and they're there to suck your energy, to control you. Do you feel rejuvenated when you're with that individual, or you feel guilty, shamed, and the like? If you always feel that way, shamed, despair, self-loathing, then that is a possible false sacred cow that is just there to trip you. And you, in that, it's a paradigm shift. Yeah, and it's dependent on your culture, your life, what type of environment, society you come from. There are certain sacred cows. Whatever what that sacred cow is with regard to your community, religion, etc., you may have to destroy that sacred cow, so to speak, by distancing yourself from it. Yeah, you're not there to hurt anybody physically. Just see for what it is. If that theme keeps popping up, that is a potential sacred cow, especially if it's something very close to you. Start being aware of how you feel about when you get into certain situations. Are you the scapegoat in your family, in situations? Is this thing keep repeating itself? You may have to just call it for what it is and start nurturing yourself and standing your ground. You say, something, I don't like this. Get away. Get away. You have a right to enjoy you, not walk in shame. Some people love to throw shame and mud on people. You know something? You say, I had enough. And you may have to uh, break ties uh, permanently. And this could be the most biggest proof of your self-love to yourself. To say no and walk away and cut ties. Cut ties. Yeah, so this links into this movie that I saw some years ago. Oh, what was that name? Yeah, the Wag the Dog. Yeah, I want to try to hurry up with this video. I have to go soon. But yeah, so right now I notice that different themes keep on popping up. Certain types of people keep popping up in your life. And certain outcomes keep repeating itself. And then the movies, like Wag the Dog. What is Wag the Dog about? Well, it's interesting. Wag the Dog is very reminiscent of what's happening right now in the media. Wag the Dog was a movie that came out some years ago, and it involved Hollywood, it involved politics, and it involved a cover up. Some political figure needed to cover an event, and they contacted a movie director to stage an event and to air it. And I was dumbfounded. This movie, Wag the Dog, did come on YouTube. It was there for free on YouTube a couple of years back. Now, I don't think it's still on now. But you may want to watch it. You may want to watch it because right now they're doing this thing with those two countries right now in Europe. And this person had come to me regarding what's on the news. This whole thing that's happening in Europe now. And I stopped the person. I said, I don't want to hear it. I said, I, because he started to talk about things, and I'm not into gore. I said, something, I'm very sensitive person. I don't like to hear things like that. They said, okay. Sometimes, yeah, self-love is about telling the other person no. See, they may not know what your tolerance level is, and people's tolerance levels could change over time. And it's your right to say, I don't want to hear it. I'm not saying to say it rude, but to stop them. Hey, wait a minute. I don't feel comfortable hearing this. Let's change the subject. I don't really feel whatever what you feel is appropriate at that time for that specific individual who's telling you. Self-love is about being able to set boundaries and say no. So this Wag the Dog, so all this drama, and I'm wondering, why are they fixing this drama? I mean, the type of drama. And then they're also putting in the racial component to this thing happening in Europe. Why are they doing that? This is like a residual from all this talk from last year. What was that? Yeah, 2021, right? And coincidentally, who gets thrown in jail? Was Smollett. So it's interesting that you have this event happening in Europe, the race component being thrown in, and then adding a little Jesse Smollett in the picture. What is movies like that all about? This Wag the Dog. What's well, Hollywood is sharing you a secret. They're sharing you something. They're sharing with you something that some of the things that you may see may be actually entertainment slash controlling your emotions, uh, controlling the narrative. And some of us are sensitive to certain events. Some of us are flighty. And yeah, and you know, another person came up to me yesterday and mentioned two events. I didn't know about the events. I don't have a television set. And sometimes social media does not always share. Sometimes it does. Interesting, the Jussie Smollett thing, it didn't show a lot of stuff. I did not know about it. But I, by chance, found it. I wasn't looking for it, but by chance, I did see a link on YouTube. And I was surprised, yeah. It was live, the hearing, and I just caught it. Yeah, a lot of times when I go on YouTube, you know, after I watch a major, you know, thing, um, I'll click on the home page to see anything live that I subscribe to is on. And so they showed, you know, hey, what's live now. So that's how I found out about it. But yeah, you have things that show you behind the scenes, behind the scenes in the making of manipulation. And we watch this, and it controls our thinking. Oh yeah, the two events. The person I met yesterday. I go to the park to walk my dogs, and he unloaded two things on me. Two events. The people were apprehended, and he said, "Why is all these things happening?" And could it just be with this that pandemic, as I call it? People were scared. The stress on putting when you can't breathe because something's on your face, and the reaction to the medicine that you might have been forced to take to keep your job puts a lot of stress on people. So what I'm saying today, yeah, I'm going to be getting off the this live stream shortly. Why I'm sharing this is because many of us are sensitive, and that there is something I feel behind this. Certain things that are happening to people that keep on repeating itself, and with all this types of movies that come out, the things that you see in social media, or even behaviors and actions of people in your life. Why are they keep on happening? So there might be something to this. Someone, something, some system that's controlling the whole planetary narrative, like the Matrix, a type of Matrix. You have cuckoo scientists out there who might generationally work over certain, you know, certain families. I've met people when I lived overseas in Hawaii, went through some stuff. They had shared with me information about what happened to them growing up, and that their mother went through the same thing at that same age. So some things they might share with families, I mean, do things remotely upon families for generations. Why? I don't know. It could be scientists, it could be maybe um, demonic attachments. Whatever what it is. See, this world is more than what we see. It goes beyond just what's on your screen. It goes beyond who you live with. It's what's going on behind the scenes. What is going on behind the scenes out there? And it could be just a show. And what? Why, I should say? For your energy. And that's why it's good to really get to know yourself. Start noticing, hey, why are you getting this feeling in your body? What's happening? What are you doing? Are you taking certain foods that have negative effects over your body? Start being aware of these things so you could remove them from your life. Document certain things sometimes. See if there's patterns of behaviors. See if there's patterns of, the type of movies or programs you watch. Are there certain things that are designed to manipulate the way you feel and act? Some things is happening in New York City. Why all these things happening? People are really getting bonkers. So that's why it's the importance, people, again, to self-love, to love yourself. I'm not saying being selfish, but a true balance in your lives, to treat your health, and wellness seriously, to set boundaries and to learn to say no when something's coming too close to you that is making you uncomfortable. And you may have to separate yourself permanently from certain environments, people, places, things, all that. Yeah. So, try to get out there. If it's safe to do so, get out there and get some sunshine and fresh air. This is we're all under attack. All of us. Find out what environment is best for you. Seek it and find it and nurture it and nurture yourself. Do good to your body, to your mind. Say positive affirmations to yourself over your loved ones that are there for you. Yeah, all those things. And yes, now in New York City, the weather is slowly getting warmer and warmer. Start enjoying that weather. Start enjoying it. Get out there early so you can get all the benefits of the coolness of the day before it gets too hot. So I thank you again. Those of you who like this content, you may wish to support my channel. You can PayPal me. Just go on my channel, Spirit Journey, and on the banner's right-hand side is the PayPal me link. Just click on the link and follow the prompt. Any amount would be greatly appreciated. I'm thanking you in advance for your precious gifts. Give me a thumbs up if you like. Peace, love, joy, and harmony is the key word. Harmony be unto all of us. Bye-bye. Until next time.